What's happening, everybody? So on this Victory Monday, I wanted to come out and talk about a few things and just some stuff on my mind, and talk to y'all a little bit. I've been asked a little bit by a couple people what's going on with certain contents, like retro gameplays, food reviews, cooking with Jagganoff, commentary videos, all that stuff. And it hasn't been many, but it's been a few, and I like doing it, and so I wanted to kind of address that at the beginning of this video. To be honest with you, I have very little time to make videos as it is, and the Jaguars have since football season's in full swing, and we've had a lot going on. That's kind of occupied a lot of my time. I mean, between that, work, being a father, and staying on my schedule with working out, because it's something I'm really trying to stick to, because I'm happy with the weight I lost. I mean, y'all can't call Jagganoff a fat fuck anymore. So, it's just hard to find time to do that kind of stuff, and because to set it up, it takes a little bit more effort than me just putting a camera in front and talking about the Jaguars, and plus that's kind of more on my mind than that stuff. So since I kind of get lapses during the off season, like I really want to save that for that, so I can keep fresh content on the channel. So don't worry, I haven't gotten away from that or anything like that. I've had stuff in my head that I want to do, so I'll have that for you guys probably in the off season, but right now I'm just kind of focused on Jags, TTC, shit like that. So that's kind of where I'm at with that. But I also want to talk about kind of some unsung heroes, and like people we're getting to the point where it's halfway through the season, and I want to, in particular this game, and I want to talk about some people that stood out. Like I'm not gonna say the obvious ones like Jan, fucking Gardner Minshew, Leonard Fournette, because I've talked about them a lot. So also pay Jan now. I'll get that in there. But just some guys that have really impressed. Well, and you guys know how I feel about DJ Chark, even though he didn't have that great of a game this week. But you guys already know how I feel about DJ Chark. But just kind of some unsung heroes that I haven't talked about a lot, that I've, especially in this game, that were kind of impressed with it. And I'll start with one in particular, Taven Bryan. Taven Bryan, my long-lost little brother, as some people like to say, I thought had a very good game yesterday. Like, he was in the backfield making plays in the run. He was, like, if you go back and look at that pick six by Jan, he got in there quick, set it up, and made Dalton throw a god-awful pass to Jan. So, I'm not going to sit here and say he's going to live up to the hype of being a first-round pick or break the trend of defensive players from my Florida Gators coming to the Jags and actually being something. But, if we can't work something out with Marcel, Darius, he might be a viable option. Avery Jones, I thought, had a very good game too. Like, he kind of goes unnoticed, but I think he's the type of guy that doesn't show up on the stat sheet. So I think those two guys might be it going forward if we can't work something out with Darius, because Darius is just going to take up too much cap next year. Like, we got to let him go and get him back for less money or something. But I think those two guys are going to be part of a good rotation. Dwan Smoot, I thought, has played well too. Like, he's definitely had a third year. Like, I kind of just was like, whatever, he'll probably be gone in a wasted third-round pick, but I think that guy's played well over the last few weeks. I don't think he really showed up too much in this game, but, like, I think he's played well. Miles Jack, even though he's taken some criticism, I've thought he played a good game. Not just, the pick he had, but, he's making tackles. He's really starting to step his game up a little bit, and that's what we need at linebacker, especially with all the injuries we kind of got yesterday. I think since I'm pretty sure Zach Brown's cleared waivers, we might need to take a look at him. maybe bring him in for some help, because I think he's a veteran that can add to our core right now, and it might be worth a look to bring him in, especially since his years in Tennessee, he's probably familiar with how we do business. So that could be good. Trey Herndon, I thought, played better. Like, people give this guy a ton of shit, like he's horrible, he's all this and that, and like, to be honest with you, for a fill-in guy, I think he's and the fact he's an undrafted rookie, I think he's played pretty well. Like, we're asking him to replace Jalen Ramsey, and come on, guys, the guy is not Jalen Ramsey. Let's just be honest with ourselves. He's not even AJ Boye. The guy is not that. So you can only expect so much from him, and for the situation he got thrown into, and the fact that he's got big shoes to fill, I think he's played well. I'm not gonna say he's definitely the answer going forward. I can't really speak for that. We got to see how the rest of the season goes and what management wants to do. But just for the situation he's in, I think he's handled himself well. You got to give the kid some credit. I mean, it's just how I feel. I'm not expecting this guy to be Jalen Ramsey. The guy's an undrafted rookie. He was lucky to even make the fucking roster. So you can't really expect too much. And last but not least, Ronnie Harrison, bro. Ronnie Harrison, I think, out of everybody in the secondary, I think he's played the best. Ronnie's in on run plays. Ronnie's making plays in the pass game. Ronnie's leading the team with 2 interceptions. He should have had fucking 3. Like, say what you want about Dave Caldwell drafting in the first round, but in the later rounds, he's found some guys. And a 3rd-round pick for a guy who was ranked 30th in the overall big board, and we got him in the 3rd round, that's tremendous value. And Ronnie Harrison, I think, gets better every time you see him. I think he's going to be a great safety. Like, I have no complaints at all with Ronnie Harrison. Guy can hit. The guy can cover. He's not a liability. I think we made the right decision moving on from Barry Church, and the guy's been impressive. Like, I think he's somebody on our defense that don't get near the credit he deserves. So, watch out for him. I mean, he should have 3 interceptions, but he has 2 on the year. But, yeah, and he had a fumble recovery. That fumble recovery that DJ Hayden knocked out, who, I know Raiders fans hate that fucking guy, but, since he's came here and we found a good spot in the slot for him, I think DJ Hayden's played really well. So, those are guys that, like, I think are not getting enough credit on our team and, producing very well. Chris Conley, even though he was kind of MIA the last 2 games, he had a big day. He stepped up big. So, if we're going to be successful this year, this is what we're going to have to do. We're going to have to guys are going to have to step up. And granted, it's against the fucking Bengals, I know, but it's it's definitely a positive to see guys like that step up. And I thought the offensive line played well. Cedric Oboye, who came in for Cam Robinson, he played good against his former team. So if Cam's out for an extended period of time, hopefully that continues. I thought he played well. I thought the offensive line altogether played a lot better. So I think Minshew get sacked once. So not bad. And speaking of Minshew, Nick Foles is supposed to return to practice on Wednesday. He's eligible to return Week 11. And the big question now that Ramsey's gone, the biggest thing in Jacksonville right now is, do we stick with Minshew or do we play Foles? And I'll answer the question, has Minshew done enough to secure the job? After the last 2 weeks, after this past week and last week against the Saints, I really don't think he has. Do I want Minshew to be the guy? Absolutely. I want him to be our quarterback. I think he's played extremely well. He's played the best out of any rookie quarterback in the class. he had a lapse in the Saints game. He kind of got it back in this game, but I do still think he's got to step his game up a little bit. I'm sure he hasn't done enough in the eyes of these coaches to say he's definitely the guy going forward. I want him to be. I think he is. I think he's somebody we shouldn't keep on the fucking bench. But at the same time, to make that decision, you're gonna have to put a fucking Super Bowl MVP on the bench. And I think Doug Marrone, I think, knows that's going to make or break whether he has a job or not with the Jags. So, it's a tough decision, and it's one I really don't want to make. As much as I want Minshew to be the guy, I can't say what they're going to do, or what they're thinking, or how they value Nick Foles. And like I said, I like both quarterbacks. I really do. And, in a perfect world, Minshew will play great the next few weeks, and then they'll decide he's the guy, and then, somebody will trade for Nick Foles, take his contract, and he's starting somewhere else in a perfect world, because I think both of these guys deserve to be starting quarterbacks in the NFL. But at the same time, they've invested a lot of money in Nick Foles, and they got to make a decision on it. So, I don't know. We got to see how these next couple weeks go. Colts did their job and beat the Texans, but now the team everybody overlooked, they're starting to become a problem. And they're a game ahead of us, and they're playing really good. Everybody thought that team was dead in the water without Andrew Luck. I personally thought even before Jacoby Brissett was a good quarterback, and I didn't think they'd be complete shit with him there. But, the guy stepped up and played well. He basically said, Andrew Luck, you want to quit? Fuck you. I'm going to come in and, do my thing. And he has. Got to give him credit for that. But it's going to be interesting. Like, everybody's still kind of in it. Even the fucking Titans are still in it, only solely because Melvin Gordon can't hold on to a fucking football. And, of course, they're celebrating like they did something. Like, they do that all the time. It's like, dude, shut the fuck up. You're lucky you even won those 2 games. And you got beat by the fucking Broncos. Like, if you honestly think you're a good... Like, if anybody honestly thinks the Titans are a good team, you're fucking retarded. Like, I'm not even saying we're a great team, but I know for a fact the Titans are still the worst team in the AFC South. And everybody thought they were going to run away with the division. I saw right through that shit. So... yeah, everybody's still kind of in it now. Even with the Texans being the only team that lost, they're still kind of in it, and you can't. And I think their biggest Achilles heel was their fucking coaching staff, because talent's obviously on the Texans. Because we gotta win and then beat them in London to really have a chance at this. Like, we got the Jets, who are a bad football team, but they're getting better. Like, we've seen over the past couple weeks, Sam Darnold makes that team better. And they've beaten good teams. And yes, I'm calling the Dallas Cowboys good because, right now they're the best team in the NFC East. They're the only team with a winning record. And the Jets beat them. So, the games at home, they're not as bad as Cincinnati, but, it's gonna be more of a challenge in this game. We gotta improve in the red zone to beat the Jets. Like, they have playmakers on offense, so we're going to have to keep up with them. Minshew's going to have one of his better games. Their defense is kind of banged up, and, other than Jamal Adams, they really don't have anybody in their secondary, so we got to take advantage of that. So, going to be interesting the next couple weeks. So, we'll see what happens. That's all I got right now, man. Dagging off. Let's go Jags. Pay fucking Yon now. Duval till I die. Gen Jag still representing. That's it, guys. I'll have hate week soon. Let's beat the fucking Jets. Let's get it.